Hey boo, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am so thrilled that you are here with me. And I have a question for you. What do fame and fortune have to do with complaining? Now, you're probably going, well, nothing, I guess, right? But there is a connection, and it relates to an incredible story that Julia Roberts told about Dolly Parton when they were filming Steel Magnolias. And I was on Google today, and this story was in my Google feed, and it's such a great story that I'm going to share with you the relevant part, and that it struck me as such a fantastic understanding of the law of assumption and the connection to manifesting, the whole connection to what it means to choose a state, to decide what you want, who you want to be, and to fully inhabit that. So before I give it all away, I'm not going to do a spoiler alert here, no worries, but if you stick with me to the end of the video, you're going to get the whole thing, okay? I'm going to give you everything. So hang in. Now, I want to say that I found this story on a website that was in my feed, and I'm happy to give credit where it's due, and I will share that. If you want to read their full story, I will link it in the description. So this actually relates to when the entire cast of Steel Magnolias, and Steel Magnolias is celebrating its 35th anniversary this year. So of course there's going to be a certain amount of press around it online. And this is a story that when the entire cast, right after they had made the movie back in 1989, that they were all being interviewed on Oprah. And Julia Roberts tells a story about how she was humbled by something that Dolly Parton said to her. So they were filming in Louisiana, which, if you're not in the U.S., it's in the South. It's very hot in the summer, like it is here in Florida. And everyone on the set was absolutely broiling in their costumes because they were probably shooting out of season at that moment. And they kept asking for water. They were dabbing ice on themselves. And the only one who was not doing that, who was totally keeping her cool, was Dolly. And Dolly is pretty amazing in any case. And I recently, by the way, had done a video, it was a few months ago, about how she literally bent time in order to receive the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame award. And she, after they decided to give her the award, then she decided to make a rock and roll album. So this is how phenomenal she is. And in this instance, while they were waiting around on the set of Steel Magnolias, she's sitting there in her wig, and some kind of whatever her costume was made out of wool, and she still totally maintained her cool. She held her composure while everybody else is dying of the heat, and she didn't even appear to break a sweat. So Julia Roberts tells how she had gone up to Dolly and said, just say, this is a quote, she says, just say I'm hot, you know, this is a drag. She really wanted, that was that kind of misery loves company kind of feeling. She just wanted Julia just wanted Dolly to admit that she was equally miserable. And Dolly didn't buy into any of that. This is what she says to Julia. She says, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be famous and I wanted to be rich. And now I'm both of those things. I'm not going to complain about it. Like, whoa, this is an amazing state, because how often do we, and I mean, I can speak for myself here, that I decide this is something I want. There's a state that I want to inhabit, and then, hey, something comes along and it knocks us out of our state, right? And we might get back up on the horse and get back into our state, and that might happen immediately, or we might be walking around pissed off and muttering to ourselves and wishing we'd said this, or we should have said that, or just arguing with that person or those people in our head for the next 3 days, and completely forget about what we had wanted. We forget how we wanted to be, and then when we look down the road 6 months later on, a year later on, we're saying, why am I still struggling? Why have I not gotten what I wanted? Why do I feel I don't have it? So that's just that feeling of lack comes up, that feeling of insecurity comes up, the anxiety, all those bugaboos start niggling away again at us. They start insinuating themselves back. And that's because we had allowed something we imagined happening in the external world. And yes, we're imagining that just as much. It's part of the story we're telling ourselves. If you're telling yourself that story, it's going to perpetuate what you don't want. And Dolly, in a sense, it's about that we allow something to, you might say, break character. Dolly wasn't going to break character, not just the character she's playing in Steel Magnolias. It's the character of Dolly, what being Dolly meant to her as a music star, as a film star, as a incredibly wealthy person, a successful person, influential, an iconic being. And this is something she was determined. She knew she had to maintain that, what Neville Goddard calls that spirit of determination, that sublime spirit of knowing that that is who she was. So she wasn't going to let it break character. That's a very powerful position to hold. That's knowing and standing fully in your own light and not letting anything affect you, not even the heat or the humidity. It's absolutely maintaining your awareness. And this is, again, this comes back to your I am, your awareness, that you are fully maintaining your inner awareness and remaining unaffected by what appears to be going on outside. So she, in essence, she was maintaining the character of her divine godliness. Your desires are divine in origin. This is, you are the operant power. You have received that desire, that divine desire that you are on fire with. And yeah, that's another metaphor for heat, but you're holding on to that. It may feel like, you're in the rodeo and you're riding a bucking bronco sometimes, but you are holding steady. You are maintaining that state. You're not letting anything throw you. And that is the absolute key. If you want to maintain that state, and yeah, if something throws you for a minute, rather than let it keep that seed from being planted that's going to blossom and bring you the fulfillment of your desire that you already have. So in a sense, you might be preventing yourself from having what you want by allowing something in the external to throw you. But in this case, the seed can take root because you are staying true to the state. You are staying true to the character that embodies. It is kind of that character you're taking on in the play that you're experiencing here. And that if you do break character, it's laugh about it. It's like those takes from Saturday Night Live where they start laughing in the middle of a sketch. And okay, so they broke character for a few minutes, but they could laugh about it. And that's what you have to do, rather than walk around in that state of being furious and feeling hurt or triggered or trying to wage war in your head about something. The thing is to laugh about it and recognize that in the grand scheme of things, it's really no biggie, and just let it go. And take that breath and get back into your heart space and get back into your state and know that you have it. Love you, boo. See you next time.